Hello YouTube universe, thank you guys for stopping by here at Comic Grandma. Today we have a showing of all my playlist for the month of September. So it's gonna be hopefully a quick video, but I have a lot of things to show. And currently we're listening to this. As always, I like to show something that we're listening to. Greg from the Vinyl Rundown actually showed this album and caught my interest since the album's called The Last Dance. This is actually Keith Jarrett's and Charlie Hayden's actually last dance since Charlie Hayden passed away. This album came out in 2014 and this is what the inside looks like. And hopefully I'll have it on LP at some point. So let's get started. We're going to start off with Chuck Ragan, Flame in the Flood. This is a great album. I actually got this signed at a show. I actually thought this was an original release from Chuck Ragan, but actually it is a soundtrack to a video game, which is very interesting. Great album if you like to check that out. The next I listened to Supertramp, or in other words tried to. This is a really bad copy that I have of Supertramp. Hopefully I can upgrade it at some point. Next we have the legendary Cars debut album. If you guys know, Rick passed away last month, so I was definitely spinning the Cars last month. What a great album. The next we have some hip hop. Mos Def and Talib Kweli. This is a hip hop duo that they call themselves Black Star. They formed in '97. They released a bunch of singles and released only one album, unfortunately, but they've always been collaborating. This is a great album. It has 2 songs, and of course it has an instrumental and 2 versions of the lyrical songs. It has a song Definition and Twice in a Lifetime. 2 great songs. I believe this came out 98, 97. This is from Rawkus. These are songs that are just talking about hip-hop consciousness. If you can see this here, it's a kind of a dangerous thing to be an MC. This is what they wrote on here, and that was around the time where Biggie and Tupac got shot when they came out. Next we have some classical music. This is Water Music, and just an amazing beautiful composition. I checked out the Paul Winter Consort. This is your kind of jazz fusion type of music. You can see some experimentation, some bits of rock and jazz embedded into this. Really reminds me of what Alice Coltrane was doing in her early days. Next we have Lee Oskar, an amazing album. Hopefully I can upgrade this copy. Look at the beautiful art on that. And Lee Oskar plays harmonica, and he was a member of the legendary Ubar band. Awesome album. Next we have Sergei Danayev. This is a piano quartet in the key of E. This is by the Cantilena Chamber Players, which are the guys that are right here. 4 of them there, and this is just a beautiful album. Beautiful composition by Danayev, who was kind of like a disciple of Tchaikovsky. And actually Tchaikovsky actually dedicated one of his compositions to him. That's how close in a relationship with them they had. Close relationship they had. Danayev was like guess you can say, musical prodigy. He studied with Tchaikovsky and was his student, and then later they became, you know, his mentor and friends. So this is a unique, beautiful composition. I was glad to have that, and hopefully I can collect more of Tanayev's work. Next, I was really happy to find this. This is Classical Smoke by the Castanets Cats Orchestra Circus. This is labeled as a psychedelic rock album, and you can see the influence of psychedelia on this. When you look at the cover, it just screams psychedelic. It's great out a bunch of jazz music that we'll listen throughout the month of September, since Alex and Motoric 24/7 had a contest, so I had a lot of jazz to listen to and kind of make a decision on what 5 albums to show, and you can check out that video in the video section. But the first one I listened to was this Classical Current by Laurindo Almeida. This came out in 1969. Laurindo Almeida, he was with the Stan Kenton Orchestra. He's a guitarist, and this is a beautiful guitar album with some classical compositions on it. Just beautiful. When I first got this, I saw maybe like 2 or 3 listings. One was for $100. Last I checked, now it's going for $30. This is Steve Kuhn Nonfiction, and a jazz record. Beautiful, but I would like to hear it once again to digest it. This is Wes Montgomery's A Day in the Life. The CTI. This is Tad Jones and the Mel Lewis Quartet. This was a pretty beautiful album. Tad Jones is the brother of Elvin Jones, the drummer who played with John Coltrane and many others. So this was a really beautiful album, which I had for a long time, and I just never had the chance to pick that one up. The Best of Ramsey Lewis, another great album, beautiful. This, and this is less of your, standard bebop jazz. This is more like radio play kind of music. Another one of my favorites I listened to in September is Jamala the Persian. This was a beautiful album. And this is volume 2. I have volume 2 and volume 4. Hopefully at some point I'll have volume 1 and volume 3. This is George Lewis and his Ragtime Band. This was a beautiful album. This made it really, really close to my top 5 in my Motoric contest video. And George Lewis is right here. Metal guy. This album just blew me away. When the Saints Go Marching In, they have a version of that song on here. This is another beautiful album by Laws. I'm really getting into Laws's discography right now. It's just a beautiful flutist. This is with Quincy Jones and Chick Corea, and they have a version of Amazing Grace in this album, which is pretty beautiful. The whole album is pretty mellow. It has that classical music influence on it. It's just beautiful. This was another great one, the Groover, Ramsey Lewis. The Ramsey Lewis Trio. Just made it also, the last 2 made it really close to my top 5. This is a Dave Brubeck Quartet. This is just, Dave Brubeck, one of my favorite bands. Also listen to Sergio Mendes and the Brazil 66. This is the album Look Around. which I realized I have 2 copies of. Another one that I listened to was Sizzle and Blake, and this was just a great album, a great documentation of music recorded in the 1920s, I believe. This is the early rare recordings, and my first record that I ever saw from them was this summer. My wife checked out one of their albums at a record store. She picked it up and I was like, put that back, because that's probably like $50 or more. And yes, it was about $50. But luckily the lady was so nice that she actually put it on so we can listen to it. Little Susie, the Ray Bryant Trio, another beautiful record. This is Ray Bryant's daughter, Susie, and he named the album after her, and also one of the songs he wrote for her on this album. And for me, the standout song on this was his version of Greensleeves on here. We have the Modern Jazz Quartet. I would like to talk more about this album, but I want to make this a quick and short video. But this has guest artist Jimmy Jeffrey, who plays the clarinet on 3 of the songs on this album. Next we have another favorite spins this September in this Jazz at Preservation Hall 2. Blue and Dead Appears, Jim Robinson New Orleans Band. I wish I can talk a little bit more about that, but like I said, I want to make this a short video, and hopefully I'll make maybe a jazz video next. The Cannonball Adderley Quintet with Mercy, 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 classic. And I love this record. I love how just there's an introduction to, I remember if it was all the songs or most of the songs. This is Louis and the Good Book, an amazing spiritual and powerful album. Of course, Louis on the trumpet. And I listened to Montgomery Land. I talked about this record on my Motorade 24/7 video, as well as the next few ones that I have on here. This one, Different Kind of Blues. Highly recommend this record, as well as this one, On Time with the legendary Joe Pass. And my favorite, one of my top 5s that I listened to in September was this. Okay. And now we're gonna get into the gospel Christian related records. And the first one was this one. I was so happy to get this. This is Elevation Worship, where they have, this is called Paradoxology. They have songs that they've put out before, but they kind of remix them and make new versions of them. And this is a beautiful album. And the color is a colored vinyl, and the colored vinyl is just beautiful. Next, we have one of my favorite records. So listened to this summer in September. It was Saved by Bob Dylan. I like this cover. There's another cover for it. They wanted to downplay the religious aspect of the album. This is part of Bob Dylan's trilogy Christian records that he put out. Next, I have a beautiful piano recording called An Offering by Kurt Kaiser. And this is just a beautiful record. Couldn't find much information about this, but I try to collect a lot of word records recordings, as you can see here, and this is one of them. It's just a beautiful record, even a beautiful cover as well. I listened to Terry Clark, Melodies, beautiful record, very uplifting. Listen to Voices of Faith, Rodanna Preston. I talked about this record in one of my videos. I also listened to Bless This House. These are songs by a nun, and her name is Sister Mary Brandon. And this is just a beautiful record, very peaceful. Another one of my favorites I spent this September was this one right here. Daryl Mansfield, Higher Power. And he's going to be on the lookout for me because I really enjoyed this record. This is your 1970s rock type of record, and he plays the harmonica. And he's played with a lot of famous musicians that I can't name at the top of my head right now. This is George Wright. And this is Mighty Fortress. And he plays the piano on this. It's just beautiful hymns on this: Ivory Palaces, The Old Rugged Cross, Evening Hymn, Rock of Ages, Sweet Hour of Prayer, Near My God to Thee, A Mighty Fortress is Our God, I Would Be True, Beautiful Isle of Somewhere, I Love to Tell the Story, Abide With Me, Softly and Tenderly, In the Garden, Onward, Christian Soldiers is the last song that he plays on this. Just the arrangements are a bit different than when I've heard this hymns played, but it's beautiful recording. Glad to have this on my collection. I love instrumental music, so this was a great listen to me. And I believe that's it. Those are all the records that I have to show. There's a complete list on my Instagram if you're interested in what else I listen to as far as CDs and digital records and albums that I listen to. Once again, thank you guys for stopping by. I'll be having a couple of videos coming out. One for Eric Weinbender's Pink Contest, cancer awareness, and I'm working on a couple other videos that are going to be something new that I'm trying out for the channel. And just want to welcome you guys if you're new to this channel. Just want to thank everybody else who's coming back to see this video. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are in good health. And as always, be in peace with yourself. Be in peace with others. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next one. Firme.